The northwest angle is the northernmost point of the mainland U.S. It's a sliver of land and a large lake, legally part of Minnesota, but geographically part of Manitoba. And there's a petition to the White House that asks Donald Trump to give it back to Canada. Let's bring in John Reinan. He's a reporter with the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, and he wrote a story about the angle. Thanks for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
So this petition is anonymous. Do you think anybody is taking it seriously?
You know, I really don't. I'd be amazed. I think a lot of Minnesotans would be unhappy if we tried to give that land back to Canada. On the other hand, I should say Minnesotans love Canadians. And when my article ran, many people came online and said, look, Minnesotans are already honorary Canadians. Why don't you just take all of us?
Nice. Okay, tell me about this part of the land, like what's on it, how many people live there, because I understand it's actually difficult for the American to live there to get to the rest of the U.S. They have to pass through Canada?
That's right. It's about a 35-mile trip. The closest city is in Warroad, Minnesota, and they have to go through the border. So it's like for kids who go to school in Warroad, it's a long bus trip every day, and they have to stop at the border. And the funny thing is the border there, it's not actually a manned station. They have a telescreen. So you pull up to the telescreen and you punch a button and an officer comes on the screen, and then you literally have to hold up your passport and the officer looks at it through the screen and tells you if you can go or not.
And they've got to do that every day.
Yeah. The ankle is about 600 square miles. I think in kilometers, you have your own measurement, but we say about 600 square miles. It's 80% water. Much of that is the Lake of the Woods, and the Lake of the Woods is about 2/3 in Canada and 1/3 in the U.S.
How many people actually live there?
About 120, and most of them work in the resort business, and most of them are related. I talked to one lady about this, and she said that her family, extended family in the area, is about 20 or more people. So that's about 1/6 of the entire population. It's just one extended family.
So, John, how did this part of land, this parcel of land, become part of the U.S., considering it would make more sense, I guess, for it to be part of Canada?
Yeah, well, when they, back in the 1700s, they drew the 49th parallel as the line between the United States and what was then the British possession of Canada. And apparently the surveyors linked this land to what they thought was the source of the Mississippi River, but they didn't have the source of the Mississippi River in the right place. They thought it was further north than it actually is. So they kind of started it off up there, and then they kind of realized it might not be quite right. And I don't know, it's just like, you know, they got confused and they just sort of tried to claw their way out of it somehow.
So technically, I understand there have to be about 100,000 signatures on a petition for it to be noticed and responded to by the White House. Is that correct?
Yeah, and yesterday when I checked, there were about less than 2,000 signatures. It may have gone up today, but I actually didn't even look at it today. But they've got a long way to go before anything could even be looked at.
Interesting. All right. John Reinan joining us from Minneapolis. Thanks for your time. Appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.